Good evening, everyone. So today we are going to discuss about the computer aided engineering in electric vehicles. So how CAE is more important in electric vehicles. If you see, CAE is a major role in every design process or engineering process. So what makes very important role in the in electric vehicles we are going to learn. And if you see nowadays, trend is going on EVs only. So all are like doing performing like whatever the analysis we have done, either for the IC engines or the suspension or braking system. But when it comes to the electric vehicle, the whole simulation process is very different. So what are the main important things we are going? What are the things we are going to learn today? Just I will be showing you small agenda like what we are going to cover. So today's agenda is the first thing is very common like what is CAE and why CAE is more important in engineering or product development process. Next we will be learning benefits of CAE. So everyone will learn CAE, but what are the benefits as a fresher level or an experienced level? For everyone, what makes the benefits for the CAE? Next, this is the one of the most important thing is comparison of CAE in IC engines and electric vehicles. So previously we have done on CAE like simulations on IC engines or like taken an example of a knuckle, sorry, take an example of a piston or housing, engine casing or gearbox. Okay, so different kind of. But coming to the electric vehicle, which type of analysis we are going to perform for the motor or your battery? Okay, so we are going to learn that one. So today I am going to focus more on the electric vehicle. What are the different types of analysis we will be doing on EVs? If you see in IC engine, an engine consists of so many sub-assemblies, around 100. At least there will be a 60 to 70 sub-assemblies in the engine. Okay. So in the same way for electric motor also there will be some sub-assemblies, but not more like engine. It will be very less, like around 20 to 30 or hardly like 10 to 15 only. So we will see how to perform analysis for those kind of components. Okay, so we will be seeing the comparison of IC engines and electric vehicles later. So what are the types on the electric vehicles, which type of analysis we will be performing on the electric vehicles we are going to learn. And next we are going to learn about specialization course of CAE. As we know, all these things, the above four things, if you want to do, you must be learn CAE, how to learn that course I am going to learn, and how to improve your skills in CAE as well as tool as well as in subject. We will be discussing that one. Okay, so let's start with the first one. What is CAE and why it is CAE? So if you have any doubts, you can post in the comment box so that I can reply to your answers. So the first thing is what is CAE and why we require CAE. So if you see CAE, the CAE is a computer aided engineering. In a term, it is used to describe the procedure of entire product engineering process from design and virtual testing with sophisticated analytical algorithms to the planning of manufacturing. Okay, so we will be doing the CAE. Previously, in the 1990s or like in the 2000s, we don't have the CAE. At the time, we used to do the analytical method, like calculating the forces and all the things, and we don't know the accurate results. Okay, so but what is the CAE will do? So if you see any component, like for example, take the product of the car or like any component when we are going to develop. Before that, we will be doing the research on particular component, where to use, why to use. Suppose take it an example of a bottle. Okay, we are designing the bottle. So before that, we have to design what is the purpose of the bottle and how we are going to develop that bottle, in which conditions, where we are going to use that bottles. Okay, based on that, we will be starting the product. So we have started research. After that, we will be seeing the engineering behind. See, in every component which is in the existing, every component will be having done lots of research and engineering. Okay. Now I will be taking a small example of an automotive car. So before coming the car, for a normal car, it will take at least 2 to 3 years to come to the existence. Okay, the research first, they will start the research of your car. what is the thing, what is the requirement, what is the sketching. They will starting as per regulations and standards, like standards. Based on the standards, we will be developing the model. After developing the model, we will be going through the engineering skills, like where we are going to apply your design skills. Design skills are nothing but you will be developing the CAD drawing, and you will be finding the forces and all the things. So at the time during the engineering process, we will be doing the simulations. We will be performing simulations on the each and every component. Suppose when you are developing the car in the sense, it is don't have only the components drawing and just validating and testing. It's not. So in the car we have doors, bumpers, okay, we have doors, bumpers, panels, so many IP panels, seats, and all the things. So for each and every so many terms and conditions are there, we have to see the proper material during machining. It is more important, and we have to check the analysis. We have to perform the analysis whether it's going to reach our strength, and it's going to reach our strength targets. Okay, you have to see when there is any crash has happened to your vehicle. You have to see those all engineering things are associated with that particular component. When it is okay, when it is satisfying to your requirements, like suppose your components should withstand some particular loading conditions. If it is withstanding only, at that time only you have to go for the next step, or else again you have to develop the CAD model, again do the analysis. So that regarding that we'll be learning in the next slide. So after completion of your engineering process, like everything, your analysis is satisfied and all the things, at that time we will be going for the testing phase, not production phase. So here we are going to develop a small model or a small kind of prototype to test the vehicle, whether it's going to be in the perfect manner or not. So if you see, when a vehicle is launching, so before that they will test the vehicle. Like if you can see, if you are living in some metropolitan cities like Delhi or in Bangalore or in Chennai or Pune, so you can see some testing vehicles are with camouflaged surfaces. Okay, so you can see those are testing vehicles. So at that time what we will be doing, we will be running the vehicle around hundreds of kilometers, and we will be seeing whether the engine is good, or even sitting is ergonomics is good or not. So if there are any problems regarding the testing, we will note, and again we will be going for the engineering or research. Again we will start the same procedure. After meeting all the testing validation is completed, then we will go for the manufacturing process. So when you are performing CAE, this is the one of the most important thing you have to keep it in mind. First, design. From design to virtual. So to reduce the cost, we are using CAE. So here you can see what is CAE, like what we are going to perform. As I said, we are going to perform different analysis, right? So what are the different types of analysis we are going to perform in the CAE? So suppose take it an example of a engine, IC engine. Take it an example of a IC engine. Here I am telling you IC engine or a motor also. Okay. So when you take the example of IC engine or a motor, the first thing everyone knows, the engine create lot of noise, right? Everyone knows this is a basic factor. Okay, accepted law. Like engine create lot of noise. To reduce that noise, we will be performing the NVH, right? So that is nothing but noise, vibration, and harshness analysis, right? So in the same case, you have one more analysis called durability or fatigue. So what is this durability or fatigue? So everyone knows warranty and lifetime of your component. So when they launch the product, they will give the warranty for 1 year or 2 year or 3 year. How they are going to give that warranty? Based on the analysis they have performed. Suppose take it an example of a rotor. Suppose take it an example of an electric motor. So they will give the warranty 1 year or 2 years. So what these in the things, they will give some particular certain kilometers, like 10,000 kilometers. At the time your motor is going to fail, so they will give the warranty till 5,000 or 10,000. So that is nothing but you are going to see your fatigue analysis, like a durability or life. You are going to perform that kind of analysis. Coming to CFD. In the CFD, we will be doing the flow analysis in the engine, anywhere. We will be doing the airflow, all the things we will be doing in the CFD. A linear and non-linear and structural analysis. So based on these are stress analysis, like how the forces due to the vibrations, there will be a stresses will be generated due to the forces. So we'll be doing linear and non-linear analysis. So you can see here, computer aided engineering is a broad usage software in the engineering skills. Okay, if you it is used to finite element analysis, computer CFD, and multi-body dynamics and optimization. So optimization is very important in the CAE field. So if you see, just a good example, optimization is nothing but, if you see in your olden days, we will be having a big television, but now we have got our LED and LCDs. So that is nothing but optimizing. If you see in the same case, engine, Maruti 800 engine, and if you come to the latest model engines like Tata Nexon or like a Tata, so many vehicles are there. So if you see, the engines are optimized in the manner like in the less space they are going to keep all the requirements, like they are using automation things, like using embedded systems or using different kind of things. They are going to reduce the space, they are going to reduce the space of the component. So you can see in the CAE we will be doing the crash analysis, and we will be doing the lot of crash analysis, structural analysis. This is the one of the most important. If you see, we are all buying the cars, but we have to see the safety standards, how safety your cars are there. Like there are different kind of safety standards for our car, like 5-star rating, 4-star rating, 3-star rating. If you see Tata Nexon, it's a one. Tata Nexon is a 5-star rating, and the same Tata Nano, it is a 1-star rating. So what is this 1-star, 2-star, 3-star? It is nothing but your safety of your car. When you met with an accident, how safe how safe you will be, how at what time your airbags are going to release, and all these kind of the things comes under crash analysis. Okay. And multi-body dynamics. So multi-body dynamics is nothing but it is usual testing, how good your vehicle suspension and all these things. So next, as I said, product design cycle. So what is this product design cycle? See, as I said, CAE plays a major role. So here, first we will be doing the R&D. After that, we will be developing the CAD. After that, we will be purchasing the material, and the material to the vendor to prototype, physical testing and test failure. So this is nothing but conventional design cycle. So what is this conventional design cycle? In the conventional design cycle, the basically R&D process in the doing the research. After that, we will be developing the CAD model. Later, we will be purchasing the material as per our requirement, right? After purchasing the material, we will be giving to the vendor to make accordingly. Suppose take it an example of a wheel knuckle, like we will be having the wheel assembly, right? For example, take it an example of a wheel knuckle. So I have I have designed the wheel knuckle. So what happened? I have missed some constraint, like at some revolutions it's going to fail, but I don't know. I have given the vendor, he has manufactured and he has developed the prototype. During the and he have tested during physical test, like nothing but when you assembled the vehicle, when you are assembled inside, it's going to rotate. During the rotation, it got failure. So at what time, what is the happen? So here your vendor, prototype and physical test, all this is waste of cost, right? So here the cost was involved here, like you are going to buy the material, right? You are going to test the vehicle and all the things. So here the major cost is there. So what we are going to do, again we will be doing the research, like where it is failed, right? After that, again we will be developing the CAD model, again we will be purchasing, again we will be doing the same process. So but what is this conventional? So we have one more design cycle, like modern design cycle. So in the modern design cycle, we have first we will be doing the R&D, right? In the same way, like first we will be doing the R&D, later we will be doing the CAD. Okay. So after that we will be doing the CAE, the same. So here what will happen during CAE itself, you can see where are the test failures. Okay. In the CAE itself, you can see the test, whether your vehicle is failed at any conditions or anything. Okay. So here you can see, visualize your results, like whether it's correct or wrong. So in the CAE, what will happen is, like suppose take it an example of a knuckle. As I said, we have discussed previously only knuckle. So I will go with the example of a same wheel knuckle. So in the wheel knuckle, what will happen, at some particular point it's going to fail. So in the CAE, suppose take it an example of any software. So in the software, you will be knowing the result at how many cycles your component is failing. So with the help of that, again we will be giving the report to R&D engineer. So he will validate at this time it's going to fail. So if there are any possibilities, he will see, or else he will directly go for the next future process. So here, as I said, if it is failed, again we are going to repeat the process. Okay. So until success, okay, until success we can do in the CAE. So next you can purchase the model as per the suggestions given by CAE engineer. So you can give the vendor and you can give the prototype to physical testing. After developing the prototype, you can develop the physical testing. Okay. So after physical testing, your test is going to success. Why? Because in the CAE itself, we have got the result, right? In the CAE itself, we have got the result, so that there are very less chances to get the failure, right? So the next thing is, so here, as I said, we are going to get more cost. So we are decreasing the cost, but we are going to sell. Okay. So that is the very importance of CAE. Why, as I said, why CAE is important? What is the importance of CAE? So coming to the benefits of CAE, what are the important benefits of the CAE? So many people wants to become CAE engineer, right? Everyone has an like after completion of, some people have the during the graduation itself, they want to become the CAE engineer. So why, how you can get the CAE engineer? So CAE engineer means not only you must be expertised in Hypermesh or ANSYS or whatever the software analysis softwares we have. You must be expertised in your engineering physics, engineering mechanics, strength of materials, machine design, and your like +1 +2 physics and mathematics. Okay. So these are the very, very important skills. Unless you have these skills, there is no chance of going for the CAE. Okay. If you don't know these topics, or if you are not perfect in these above subjects, then if you go for the CAE also, there is very less chance to survive in the organization. Okay. So these are very, very important if you want to continue your career as a CAE engineer. So what are the softwares? So if you see nowadays, each company using different softwares. Like some companies will use Hypermesh, some companies will use ANSA, and some companies will use ANSYS, Abacus, Nastran, LS-DYNA, PAM. So many are there. These are the few I have listed. Okay. So what is the thing is, for every component, suppose if you are developing the phone or if you are developing any model, the first thing you have to do the pre-processing, right? Pre-processing is nothing but developing the model. Like you are going to mesh the model, you are going to apply the boundary conditions, you are going to give the loading case and all the things. So mainly, if you learn Hyper ANSA, these are the very important softwares all the companies use. Okay. Basically, these two softwares are universal softwares to start your career as a CAE engineer. Why? Because we will be using meshing is one of the important key role in the CAE. Okay. So you have to start basically when you are trying for the CAE, or if you want to switch for the course, the main thing is you have to know the meshing or tech preparation of your particular component. Okay. So meshing is very, very important. So for that, Hypermesh is the main course, where Hypermesh is the main software which is used in all industries. Okay. Not only like Mercedes, Volvo, L&T, Maruti, all the companies, they will use Hypermesh. Okay. ANSYS, Abacus, Nastran, LS-DYNA, based on the type of analysis. So if you want to go for the structural analysis, if you want to find the stresses, if you are interested in stresses, go for ANSYS or Abacus. If you are interested in crash, go for LS-DYNA. If you are interested in durability, go for Nastran. So different type of analysis have different softwares. Okay. But basically every software, every company will use Hypermesh and ANSA. So mostly ANSA is very costly compared to Hypermesh. So that's why most of the industries, they will use Hypermesh. So when you start your career as a CAE engineer, the salary package will be, the starting will be 3, or like some companies, they will start with the 5 also. So it will increase based upon your performance. So that is the benefits of CAE, right? So coming to the type of analysis performed on the engines. So we all know CAE is very, very important, and as today's session is mainly for electric vehicles, but before that I want to know, or I want to tell you that what are the different types of analysis will be performed on the your engine or particular engine block. Okay, so here I have listed only few, but there are n number of analysis. Okay, based on the failures we will be doing different analysis. We may don't know like at which case it's going to failure. Sometimes based on your driving performance, based on your usage also, some components may fail. So during the FEM itself is like a assumptions. Okay, we are assuming and doing the analysis on particular components. Okay, so here I have listed few analysis like the basic analysis which we are going to perform on the engine assembly. The first and foremost thing is everyone will perform structural analysis. In the structural analysis, nothing but we are going to see the stresses of your component, at which level your Young's modulus value, yield strength value is crossing by applying the forces. Okay, for the engine there are lot many forces are acting on the engine, right? Like forces will be acting, centrifugal force will be acting, torque will be acting, okay, thermal stress will be acting. So different types of forces are acting. So based on that we will find the stresses of the particular component. So engine is not a single component, it is having sub assemblies like piston rings, and we will be having the belts, pulleys, and so many things are there, right? And housing will be there, inlet manifold, exhaust, and all the things will be having. Compartments are there, so many things are there, right? Fuel injection systems. So these many components are there. So for each and every component, we will be performing different analysis. So suppose take it an example of a manifold. So manifold, we will be doing the CFD first of all. So we will be doing CFD, we will be doing NVH, okay, so the air noise, and if any noise are there we will be doing CFD, NVH, and thermal analysis, and durability also. So for every component we will be doing all type of analysis. Whatever analysis is there, we will be doing all those kind of analysis to come with a good product. Okay, so if you see here, thermal analysis and structural analysis. In the structural analysis we will be mainly focusing on the stresses. In the thermal analysis, we will be more focusing on the thermal stress due to heat, right? The engine has a lot much heat, around 250-degree temperature is there. So inside your engine, there will be at least 250-degree temperature. At the time, you can see the material deformation, how the material is going to deform, and this one we are going to see in the engine, right? In the same case, NVH. So what is this NVH? Noise, vibration, harshness. So when the motion, see, if you see, the engine is nothing but it's going to convert one form of motion to another form of motion. Like the piston is going to rotate, right? The piston is going to transverse motion. So there is a motion. Due to that continuous motion, we will be having the noise. It's going to generate vibration also. So how you are going to reduce that noise and vibration? Okay, so adding your stiffness to your component, or like you are packing your component, or like you are enclosing your component in certain way that it will not come any noise outside the engine. If you see the new model cars, if you see no noise is there. Coming to electric vehicles, we have very less noise compared to IC engines. So why that less noise, we will be learning in upcoming slides. So durability, yeah. So the crash test. So where we will be doing the crash test to the your engine. So crash test is one of the very important, not only to the engine, for your whole vehicle assembly. So we will be doing crash test for the car, frontal crash test, side impact, so many are there. So during your assembly, there is a chance of the engine may fall, or like we will be doing the there are different cases, the engine may fall down, or during the installation, or sometimes. So we will be doing crash test for the engine also. And coming to the thermal analysis, as I said, the engine will create lot of noise. So due to that lot of noise, we will be seeing the crash test analysis also. As I said, today we are going to discuss like what are the analysis performed in the electric drivetrain. So what is this drivetrain is? So we know drop test and NVH, durability, EMF forces, structural, fatigue, thermal, and magnetic insertion. So in the last slide, we have seen the basics of type of analysis performed for the engine only. But we have one more component which is connected to engine is gearbox. So gearbox is also one of the biggest thing in your vehicle. So what are the types of analysis we will be performing on the gearbox? Like if you see, everyone knows, I will tell you a small, like when you we have the gear levers, right? when you transfer from first gear to second gear, so there will be a small noise will be generated between the gears. So we will be performing that kind of analysis also due to the gears, like at what torque it's going to at what torque it's going to create, which frequencies, at which frequencies we will be loading conditions are there, and all those kind of the things we are going to do in the analysis of the IC engines. So now coming to the electric drivetrain, as I said, so many people might think that for the electric vehicles or for the motors, we will not create much, we will not perform different type of analysis. But for motor also, we will create lot of analysis, right? So I will tell you first thing is the main focus. So anybody has a anybody knows how the motor create noise, like from what is the source of noise in the motor. Like if you can tell the answer, you can tell in the chat box. So like what is the main sources of noise in electric drivetrain? Okay, coming to the motors. So in the motor, what is the main sources of noise? So from where the noise is generated? So here you can see everyone in the second picture, there is a like a small like air gap, right? So you can see here air gap. So what is this air gap? So you might know that the working of induction, any motor, electric motor, is due to the magnetic. So how the motor, first you have to see the motor working principle. So in IC engines, we will be having the piston and fuel and all the things. But in the electric motor, so we will be having a small gap due to electromagnetic field, the motor is going to rotate, right? So due to that small air gap, so you can see here there is a small air gap. So here the electrons, okay, the EMF forces, okay, so is going to get to the starter so that the sound is going to generate, okay. So here the main sources of the in the motor is due to EMF, okay. Due to EMF, the sound is going to generate in the electric drivetrain. So the main source is due to EMF. So due to this, we are getting the sound in electric vehicles. So nowadays you can see in the bikes or in the cars, like you can see Tata Nexon electric vehicle. So you can see there is a very less noise. So due to why it's going to very less noise, there will be a very less force, like 70 decibels. You can see 70 decibels for noise you can see from the motors. Okay, so the main sources of getting noise is from due to electromagnetic field only. Okay, so that's why we are getting noise from the electric drivetrain. So mainly we will focus in NVH part only when you are going to do analysis in electric vehicles. Okay, the first is NVH. So mainly you focus on the NVH. Okay, when you are designing a motor by yourself, let's think when you are designing a motor by yourself, the first and foremost analysis you have to perform is structural analysis, where you are going to find the stresses of your particular rotor or stator or your casing. Okay, so how the forces are generating due to electromagnetic forces and due to shaft, due to rotational forces like torque and all these kind of the forces. Due to that forces, the stress will be generating on the components. After that, you will be performing NVH. Okay, so for NVH you will be seeing the frequency response analysis and all the analysis you will be performing for your motor component. After the durability, so this is the one of the very important analysis in the electric drivetrain. And thermal analysis. So you can see due to electromagnetic field, there are the magnets and the winding is there. So due to that, the thermal analysis, we have to perform thermal analysis on the stator. So you can see there is a stator. So for that we have to perform the thermal analysis, and there is a magnetic insertion. So you can see the main sources of the power in electric vehicles is due to magnets and winding. So we have to perform the analysis for that also. So, and one more analysis which the electrical guys who are interested, you have to see electromagnetic flux. Okay, so electromagnetic flux analysis you have to perform on the motor. So due to that you can get the electromagnetic forces. And one of the important thing is coming to the batteries. So what are the types of analysis we are going to perform on the batteries? So the first foremost thing is NVH for the drop test. So we know that the battery is a very important in the electric vehicle. Suppose if you are carrying the lithium ion batteries, so lithium ion batteries are very like you can see, it's very complicated batteries. Okay, so for that we require lot of maintenance. Okay, you have to, the casing should be proper, and the thermal energy, thermal expansion should be there, and you can see the durability analysis for that. Okay, so for that the thermal analysis is very important, and the drop test for your lithium ion battery. So when you will be having the drop test for that, what are the cases? The one thing is during the drive, when you are driving, there may a chance of getting the battery may fall down. It's very rare case, but during your manufacturing process, the drop test is very important. Okay, so that you can know whether the component will sustain the loads or not. And coming to the durability, so durability of your cell, so there are so many cells are there. So for that we will be performing the durability analysis for your batteries. Okay, so these are the very important analysis you have to do for your electric drivetrain. The first one is for the drivetrain you have to perform is NVH, after that durability, after that electromagnetic flux and electromagnetic forces, and structural analysis for your components, after that fatigue analysis for your rotor and stator components to see the life of the shaft. Also you need to perform the analysis, after the thermal analysis for your stator. Okay, so stator we have to perform the thermal analysis, whether it's the casing, how much temperature the casing is going to get heat. Okay, and the next for the battery you have to perform all the analysis, right? So to get the perfect battery and perfect design, you have to perform n number of analysis on your components, right? So far we have learned type of analysis need to perform. So but how our vehicle is going to come to the existence? So till now we have done analysis in the only through the in the your lab, your computer, yes, in your workstation or somewhere you have done in your laptops. But what is the thing is, whatever you have done, it should must be approved. Whatever the results you are getting, it must be approved. Suppose when you are launching the vehicle, suppose TVS has launched one vehicle, electric vehicle iQ. So what is the thing is, there are some approval agencies who has to approve your electric vehicles, or any vehicle or any component should be approved by some organizations which are some governing bodies. So we have some of the agencies like ARAI, which is in Pune, which is automotive research. So you can see here, as I said, we have done NVH for your motor, right? So what we will be doing in the ARAI, we will be having some testing equipment, how to see the noise vibration, what is the noise for your motor. So they will test manually here. So they will match your testing result and this result. At that time only they are going to approve your component. So like that we will be having the different research centers in like different states, like in the part of India, like ARA we have VDE, VRDE, ICAT, CIRT. So these are the different types of organizations who are going to approve our vehicle components. Okay, so which type of regulations you need to follow for your vehicle? So there are n number of regulations. For a small component, if you see for the vehicle side stand, there is a certain regulations you need to follow for the side stand. There is some certain loads it should carry, side stand, even handles, right? And what is the sound level? As I said, sound level is very important. So here you can see different types of regulations, which regulations you need to follow, and what is the regulation numbers. So coming to the regulations, these are some which you can't access. Okay, so you can't access this kind of the regulations. These regulations can be only accessed by the OEM companies who are going to perform analysis. Okay, so some regulations you can access, but some regulations you can't access. So if you can see for the vehicle, we will be doing frontal impact, side impact, rear impact, frontal crash. Okay, and the seating system. Okay, so different heating system of the components, exterior components, interior components. So different type of analysis we are going to perform for the components. Okay, so here we have one analysis like frontal collision. So as I said, what is a frontal collision? So as I said, for the regulations we will be having ECR, Euro NCAP, and so many FMVSS. So these are the different kind of the regulations we have. So this is a frontal crash and this is a side crash. Okay, so side crash in the sense nothing but when your vehicle is there, if any other vehicle is going to hit from the opposite side, at that time you will be doing side crash. So those are the things which type of analysis we are going to perform. Okay, so these are just very very basic. If you go when you are working in industry, you will be performing different analysis more than this. Okay, so now let's come to very important part in the session, which is one of the most important. Previously we have learned what are the analysis we need to perform for the electric vehicle. So next one of the important part is how to learn the things, how to perform the analysis for your particular component. Okay, so now I am going to give the brief discussion. So as I said, hypermesh is the one of the most important part in the analysis, like in the meshing. Okay, so we have the specialization course like PG diploma course in the hypermesh or like in the analysis, which is called as CAE masters course. So in this masters course, what we are going to do is the first thing is we are going to tell you hypermesh. So what is the use of hypermesh? How it is important. Okay. So after that we are going to teach you the interface, how to use the interface, how to import the components, how to export, how to perform the meshing. So as I said, we have different types of solvers. Like we have ANSYS, LS-DYNA, Radios, OptiStruct. So different solvers has different usage. Like as I said, LS-DYNA is for crash, ANSYS is for stress, Radios is for also crash and nonlinear analysis. So we are going to do in different type of solvers. In the hypermesh, we will be teaching you different examples. Like in the OptiStruct, which you are going to do. In the we are taking different type of solvers and we are going to perform. After that, we will be doing the geometry creation. How to create surfaces, how to create solid bodies, nodes and geometry. So if you see, hypermesh is for only performing the meshing or analysis. But before that, a CAD guy has to give the geometry. Like suppose if you are developing if you want to do analysis on this car side door, so for that you require the door component, right? So where you can get, you are a CA engineer, you don't know it, but you can get it through the CAD guy, which is nothing but computer aided design guy. He will give your CAD geometry, so you have to import IGS file or step file to your hypermesh. Okay, so during importing of IGS file or step file, there will be a lot of errors. Sometimes the surfaces may not import, lines may not import. So at that time you have to clean your geometry, like if there are any missing surfaces are there. So you have to clean the geometry. After that we will be discussing on how to create the geometry and how to shape the geometry. So these are the geometry and importing. So next, coming to the scripting. So keyboard scripting is very very important coming to the hypermesh. Why? Because so we have to be very fast while performing. You have to script your keyboard according to your requirement. Suppose if you are doing meshing, so your keyboard must be in very fast, like all the controls are under your fingers. So you can control, you have to control. So we are going to teach you how to script your own keyboard, like your own keys, your own shortcuts. And element types. So we have different type of elements like 1D, 2D, 3D. So we are going to discuss. And quality check is one of the very very important in the hypermesh. Later we will be discussing how to start meshing. So as I said, element types 1D, 2D, 3D. So 1D elements are nothing but bar and beam and weld elements. So these are 1D meshing. So if you see the roll cages and chassis, so those are called 1D elements. So coming to 2D, hypermesh is the main very very good software for 2D meshing. Like we have plastics. If you see, the car consists of around 60 to 70% is plastics only. Once if you go and if you see, the car consists of whole plastics and steels only. Okay, not any solid components. All are steels or like maybe the plastics. So for the plastics and steel shell components, it's very difficult to mesh. So for that we will be having automatic mesh, manual and advanced mesh. So if you see car dash panel, IP panel, so you can see here dashboard and instrument panels are there. For this we will be doing the plastic meshing. So we have 3D components. So 3D components are nothing but your engine, gearbox, casings and these kind of the things comes under 3D meshing, and we will be discussing connections. So what are these connections? So if you see in the real life, suppose take it an example of a car. So during the analysis, you can't design the keep the bolt, right? So you have to add the bolts. So you have to give the rigids. You have to create the springs. You have to create the mass elements in your hypermesh itself. So that we are going to discuss in the connections part. So this is just basic hypermesh. So in this we are going to learn meshing, connections, and geometry cleaning things in the hypermesh course. So next course is analysis. So previously we have done hypermesh. So next we are going to do the analysis. So whatever analysis we have done, we are going to import that analysis file. Suppose if you are done hypermesh and you are going to perform analysis in LSDyna, so open LSDyna solver and run. So what are the types of designs we have, implicit, explicit, and quasi-static, and what is material formulation, what are the types of materials we have to use. And see, you can see here there is a crash test, a drop test, and these kind of analysis we are going to perform in the analysis. So what are the projects we have, I will be discussing in upcoming slide. So crash worthiness. So what is this crash worthiness? This is one of the very important and interesting domain in CAE. So as I said, how to perform crash analysis we are going to learn, like Euro NCAP and FMVSS regulations, energy curves, deck preparation, and all these kind of the things we are going to learn in crash worthiness. And we have two analysis. Analysis is divided into two. One is basic analysis, which is for basic level, and the next one is some which is basic to extent level. Like here we are going to perform durability analysis, fatigue analysis, NVH, and all these kind of analysis in the component. So as I said, we have the specialization course. So in that course, we are not only teaching the component, we are going to give the projects. So we are going to give the minor projects and major projects. So these are very industry related projects. So you can see here, we have the pre-processing. As I said, this comes under hypermesh. So for 1D elements, we are going to mesh any type of roll gauge, like formula roll gauge or Baha roll gauge, these kind of the things. So after that, we will be doing the meshing of 2D components. As I said, the car consists of totally plastic components. For the plastic components, we will be doing the 2D meshing. So we will be having the clusters, and 3D meshing is nothing but solid, like gearbox casing, and connections are nothing but, if you see, the car consists of lot many connections. The car consists of around 40 components. For the 40 components, we will be having weld, beam, bar elements, and rigid connections. So we are going to give those connections to the seat. Okay. So coming to the analysis part. So we will be doing analysis, right? So for the analysis part, we will be doing different kind of, for the brake pedals, like as I said, for the brake pedals, which kind of analysis we will be doing. For the seating system, which kind of analysis we are doing. For the chassis, truck chassis, we have taken a truck chassis and we will be doing analysis. And if you see the shaft, crankshaft, it is going to continuously rotate. So due to the rotation, you will be getting the life and durability. So that we will be doing fatigue analysis, and thermal analysis we will be doing for the fins. So different type of analysis we are going to perform in these courses. Okay. So these are the projects which we are going to do in the crash worthiness using LSDyna. So drop test. So as I said previously, we have the drop test for the motors and batteries, even for engine also. So here I am going to teach you small drop test of a mobile phone. So mobile drop test is very easy and very important. If you see, we have so many mobiles, right? So we will be doing the drop test also for even for mobile phones also. So drop test we will be doing, and wheel impact test we will be doing. Head impact is nothing but very important analysis in the crash worthiness. And we will be doing frontal impact, rollover, and side impact. So these are the different types of test we are going to perform for the electric for the vehicles, as well as in this course, in this CAE master's course, we are going to do this different kind of projects we are going to perform. Okay, so these are the different types of projects we are going to perform. So if you have any queries related to analysis, or like if you have any queries, if you are interested to do this kind of the course, just drop a mail to elearning@isaindia.com. Okay. So what a manufacturer will expect from the design before moving to the manufacturing process? So basically, manufacturer doesn't involve in the CAE guide. Okay, so what is the thing is, before going to release the CAD, so if you see, we are going to develop a CAD model. Suppose take it an example of a CAD model of the phone. Okay, so we are going to perform analysis on the phone. We will be getting the results based on the drop test. After the drop test, so we will be giving the changing the requirements to the CAD. So suppose I have designed the phone, it's going to fail. So what I will be doing, I am going to give the CAD guy to change the design. So he will change the design and I will perform the analysis once again. So after performing the analysis, if my results are okay, I will tell the CAD guy to make the manufacturer. Okay, I will tell the manufacturer to release the design to the manufacturer. So just CA is the guy who will give the call to CA CAD engineer to release the drawings to the manufacturer. So based on the CA engineer, he will do the drawings and he will develop the CADs. Okay. So basically, manufacturer will expect only the good drawings, like by seeing the tolerance, by performing the GD and T tolerance. So there is much more expecting from the design engineer. Okay, just the proper designs. Here, manufacturer will not give any suggestions also. Whatever the CAD guy given, he will directly manufacture it. Okay, thank you so much for attending the course.